What's up, ladder climbers? Antoine Wood here from Elevate to the Unknown, the Wave Report in NextGenHeights.com, and it is Monday, November the 10th, 2025, 7 a.m. Central, and we are live on the Daily Climb. And listen, you went to bed last night, and while you were sleeping, history happened. 10:49 p.m. Sunday night, the United States Senate, after 40 days of the longest government shutdown in American history, after 14 failed votes, after 1.4 million workers went without paychecks, after 42 million Americans on food stamps didn't know if they'd eat, 60 senators, they said yes. 40 said no. The bill advanced. Tight 40 days if you've been tracking this nightmare with me since day one. 1.4 million federal workers are about to get paid, back pay, guaranteed, every single dollar that they missed. SNAP benefits, fully funded through September. 42 million people can eat. No more mass layoffs till January the 30th. Trump tried to fire 4,000 workers during the shutdown. Judges blocked it. Now the deal says no more cuts for 3 months. After 40 days, movement. Finally. But here's the story. That should be breaking news on every channel. CNBC, Bloomberg, Fox Business, CNN, all of them. But they are not going to cover it the way that we're going to cover it, because it makes the AI companies look bad, because it proves the layoffs were lies. While the government was shut down for 40 days, private companies that laid off workers to replace them with AI, they're quietly bringing those workers back. 5.3% of laid off employees being rehired right now. The AI didn't work. I want you guys to type failed in the chat if that is karma. MIT, they just released a study nobody wants you to see. 95% of companies that invested in AI saw no financial gains. None. Zero. Zilch. In fact, here's the math that should terrify every CEO who fired people for AI. For every $1 they save, they spend $1.27. Severance, lost productivity, rehiring costs, training, all of it adds up. And they are losing 27 cents on every dollar they saved. An Oxford University researcher just said that we've been saying on this show for weeks. This is the quote. Some companies are using AI as a scapegoat for layoffs. Translation, they fired you for cost cuts they wanted to make anyway. They blame AI so you wouldn't be mad at him. I want you guys to do me a favor and type scapegoat in the chat if you knew it. So while the government shutdown is ending, the 40-day shutdown, while companies are admitting AI failed by rehiring the people that they fired, let me tell you about Marcus Thompson from Charlotte, 41 years old, real member of this community, one of us, a ladder climber. Thursday, 3 days from now, final round with a VP, final VP interview in person. He got certifications while others made excuses. He positioned himself strategically while others panicked and plied. He did the work that we talk about on this show every single morning. While Amazon is cutting 14,000 and calling it AI, while Salesforce is firing 4,000 and saying robots can do it, Marcus is 3 days from a VP interview that may get him hired. The government shutdown is ending. AI failed and companies are backtracking. 153,000 laid off in October alone. But opportunity still exists for those who position themselves right. Guys, this is a Daily Climb. We are on week 3 and it begins today. And I got intelligence for you that nobody else is going to give you. The crisis is real. The opportunity is real. Your move matters. Let's climb today. Let's see who was all in the house. We got Ricky in the house. We got the Life of Cam in the house. We got the Big Suggs in the house. Good to see you guys. We got Miss Wade in the house as well too. AI lady, good to see you. Topaz, good to see you. Finally, it is Monday, and I've been excited to get with you guys today. I've been excited, had a fantastic weekend. But let us go ahead and break into the show this morning. So, all right, y'all, let me show you exactly what happened last night while most Americans were asleep. Because if you went to bed before 11 p.m., like I did, okay, you missed history. History was made. It was being made. Here's the deal. The Senate vote 60-40. Okay? 60-40. Senate convened Sunday evening. Rare weekend session. They'd been fighting for 40 days straight. 14 votes. All failed. But both parties, they dug in and no movement. 14 times. Then 10:49 p.m. Eastern yesterday, the vote happened 60-40. After 40 days of chaos, after 1.4 million workers missed paychecks, after families struggled to pay rent, after TSA agents worked without pay and 2,000 flights got canceled in one day, 60 senators, they finally said, enough of this crap. Finally. I want you guys to type finally if the relief is coming. Type finally in the chat. Now, let me tell you who those 8 Democrats are that broke ranks, because this matters. This tells you everything about politics and power. Dick Durbin from Illinois, Senate Democrat, whip number 2 Democrat in the state. John Fetterman, Pennsylvania. You guys already know about him because we've been talking about him, and he's been voting against the other side since day one. But the guy, he always wears hoodies to the Senate, apologized on Sunday to the military members and SNAP recipients for how long this took. Maggie Hassan and Jeannie Shaheen, both New Hampshire. They're the ones who actually brokered the deal with Republicans. Catherine Cortez Maestro, we talked about her many times on the show. Jackie Rosen, both Nevada, emphasized the hardship on working families. They are finally listening to the people on the street who are going to do some bad stuff. And they said, you know what, enough is enough. Tim Kaine from Virginia, he joined the moderate coalition. And Tim Kaine from Virginia, they had the money to pay some of their SNAP benefits for a short amount of time. All right. Angus Kane from Maine, independent, but caucuses with Democrats. He said this: the duration of the shutdown altered some senators' calculations. Translation: people realize that we're not going to get everything that we want. Time to make a deal. Now, here's what's interesting, and this is politics. None of these 8 face re-election in 2026. 0 of them. 4 of them, former governors, they know how to actually govern. 2 of them already announced retirement. They got nothing to lose. So they voted yes, while Bernie Sanders and Chuck Schumer voted no to protect themselves politically. See how that works? It's all a game, guys. They don't care about you. They care about themselves. Now, here's what matters actually in the deal, because details really matter. And I'm going to show you guys a video on this as well, too. Okay. Continuing resolution. It funds the government through January the 30th, 2026. That's 2.5 months from now. Full year funding for 3 departments: agriculture, veteran affairs, legislative branch. They got funded through September the 30th, 2026, whole fiscal year. SNAP benefits, supplemental nutrition assistance program, food stamps, fully funded through September 2026. That's 42 million Americans. 1 in 8 people in this country depending on SNAPs and food stamps. I didn't know it was that many. But they're safe now. Back pay guaranteed for every single person that was furloughed. 750,000 people got sent home. No work, no pay for 40 days. They're getting every dollar back. 730,000 more essential workers had to show up every single day. TSA screening passengers, air traffic controllers, Border Patrol, Coast Guard got $0 for 40 days. They're getting paid too, every single dollar. Type paid if 1.4 million people getting their back pay matters. I want you guys to type paid in the chats because it does matter. That's a lot of people. And here's the big protection, the thing that should have been there from day one. No more mass layoffs until January the 30th. You guys got to remember, Trump tried to use the shutdown to fire 4,200 federal employees. Reduction in force notices sent out during the shutdown. Federal judges blocked it, said you can't do that. Now the deal says explicitly no more layoffs, no more reductions in force for almost 3 months. Give workers protection. Give Congress time to figure this out. But here's what the Democrats gave up. And this is where it gets messy. The ACA subsidies, Affordable Care Act, Obamacare subsidies. They expire January the 1st, 2026, 7 weeks from now. 20 million Americans depend on those subsidies to afford health insurance. Without them, insurance premiums jump 114%. Average person pays $888 this year, $1,914 next year, more than double. Ain't that something? And the Democrats demanded subsidies that extended it in any deal to reopen the government. So they said, you know what? We're not going to do anything until you fix this. They held that line for 14 votes, 40 days. Then Sunday night, they folded. They got a promise of a vote on subsidies in December. Not a guarantee the subsidies pass, just a promise. Republicans will allow a vote. So they gambled. They gambled. That's what they did. They gambled with you guys, man. They gambled on your life. They said, you know what? We're going to shut this whole thing down and we're going to gamble and see what happens. And guess what? So you had some other ones folded. Type promise if that sounds like a gamble to you. That's what happened to me. That's what it sounded like. The backlash from Congress, the backlash from progressive Democrats, it was immediate and brutal. Bernie Sanders called it a horrific mistake. Said Democrats are abandoning the fight for health care at the exact moment that they should be holding firm. Chuck Schumer, Senate Minority Leader, the guy who's supposed to lead the Democrats, voted no after a 2.5-hour Democratic caucus meeting Sunday evening where they screamed at each other. He said, I cannot support this in good faith. Then Hakeem Jeffries, House Minority Leader, went on to meet the press Sunday morning, said House Democrats will not support this package when it arrives. This is what it said. I don't think the House Democratic Caucus is prepared to support a promise, a wing in a prayer from folks who have been devastating the health care of American people for years. He said this, Donald Trump and the Republican Party own the toxic mess they have created in our country, and the American people know it. Those are strong words. That's what he said, though. So here's where we actually are right now. Monday morning, Senate voted yes, 60-40, but that was just a procedural vote to overcome the filibuster, just to advance the bill. Senate reconvened today at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific time. More votes are coming, and it could pass the Senate today. Could take several days if the Democrats or Rand Paul use procedural tactics to slow it down. Then it goes to the House. House was told on Sunday night, expect votes this week with 36 hours notice before any vote. But Jeffries already said House Democrats won't support it. Republicans have a razor thin majority in the House. Can they pass it without the Democrat support? We will see. I'm going to take you guys over to Fox News to listen to the breaking news because this came out about 3 hours ago. Check this out.
Let's begin with Madeline Rivera live from Washington with the latest on when we can expect this shutdown to officially end. Maddie, good morning.
Good morning, Todd. Well, the vote the Senate took overnight is the first step in a series of procedural maneuvers. And of course, the House will have to vote on the package, too. So it will take a few more days before the government reopens. But Sunday's vote was the first clear sign that a bipartisan deal had been reached after a roughly 40-day stalemate. The Senate voted 60-40 to back a revamped GOP funding bill that would keep the government open until the end of January. 8 Democrats joined Republicans to pass the bill, including Senate Minority Whip Dick Durbin, Senators Tim Kaine, Catherine Cortez Masto, and Jackie Rosen, among others.
This is the beginning to show and fight for Americans across the country.
About time.
Let me just say this. With the government open, we can focus on passing a full bipartisan budget for 2026.
I understand that not all of my Democratic colleagues are satisfied with this agreement, but waiting another week or another month wouldn't deliver a better outcome. So let me be clear. No one in the Senate chamber wants to extend the ACA tax credits more than I do.
I joined this group to make sure that we could get important protections for federal employees. And what we have in this bill is the restoration of all the furloughed employees and a guarantee of their back pay.
They need that.
So despite them touting what they did get, these Dems are facing criticism from their party because the package does not include a deal on Obamacare subsidies. It only includes a guarantee on a vote for the tax credits, far from what...
These boys gambling with you guys. Gambling with you. And Trump, he came back to the White House on Sunday evening after watching the Commanders game. You know he had to watch some football. Take a little bit of a break. Reporters caught him. Asked him about the deal. He said this: it looks like we are getting very close to shutdown ending. Didn't say I support it. Didn't say I'll sign it. But he didn't threaten a veto either. So probably if it reaches his desk, he will sign it. And if it passes this week, federal workers could see paychecks by Friday. SNAP benefits restored. Flights back to normal because air traffic controllers get paid. Government services resume after 40 days. Good news for 1.4 million workers and their families. But while everyone was focused on the government shutdown, while Congress fought for 40 days, while workers went into debt and went without paychecks, private companies, the private sector companies, they were doing something that nobody's talking about. And I'm about to show you guys what they don't want you to know. Okay? The government is about to reopen pretty soon. Federal workers are about to get paid after 40 days of just hell. Now, let me show you the scandal that should be on every business channel, but it isn't, because it makes billion-dollar companies look real bad. Okay? Makes them look real bad. And they don't want you to see this. They don't want you to see this at all. Here's the story that CNBC won't tell you, that Bloomberg won't tell you, that Fox Business definitely won't tell you, because their advertisers are the companies that did this. Companies that laid off workers to replace them with AI, that fired thousands of people and said, don't worry, AI's got this. They are quietly right now bringing those workers back. And they're hoping you don't notice. Ain't that something? That's what they're hoping right now. They're hoping you don't notice. They're hoping people don't say anything about it. Workplace Analytics, called Visor, they released data from November the 7th, 3 days ago. 5.3% of laid off workers being rehired by their former employers. That's the highest rehiring rate in 7 years, since 2018. Ain't that something? I want you guys to type 5.3% if companies messed up bad. Andre Derler, principal advisor, said this: the idea that now AI is coming and replacing absolutely every job is still really not proven. Then she said this: that should make every CEO sweat. Larger planning problems. I want you guys to read between the lines here. Companies fired people for AI before they even knew if AI could do the work. They laid off experienced employees, paid severance, trained AI systems, then realized, oh, the AI can't actually do this. Now they got to hire people back at higher salaries because those people have leverage now. That is exactly what we've been saying on the Daily Climb for some months. AI is not ready yet. The hype is ahead of the reality. And workers are paying the price for the CEO's bad bets. Ain't that something? Let me show you the study that proves it, okay? And many of you guys have seen this study before. But MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, one of the smartest institutions in the world, they released a comprehensive study on companies that replace workers with AI. 95% of those companies saw no meaningful financial gains. 95%. That means 19 out of 20 companies that fired workers for AI lost money on the deal. Now, to Wall Street, you say you lay off employees, cut costs, right? It makes the stock go up. So maybe it's a pump situation for a lot of these companies. Say you're going to lay off a whole bunch of people, stock pumps up, everybody gets rich for a little short 4 to 6 months. Next thing you know, reality checks in. Now we got to rehire some of those same people back. But here's the math. They don't want you to see. CEO says we'll save money by replacing 10 workers making $50,000 each. That's $500,000 in salary savings. Sounds great on a spreadsheet. Sounds real good on a spreadsheet. Matter of fact, Wall Street rewards this kind of behavior, right? But then reality hits. Severance packages. 10 workers times 6 months salary. There's $250,000. Lost productivity during the transition. Another $100,000 because nobody knows how things work anymore. Training costs for remaining workers to use AI, $50,000. AI system costs, licenses, maintenance, integration, another $200,000 annually. Then 6 months later, they realize the AI can't handle complex situations, can't make judgment calls, can't deal with customers who are upset. So they got to rehire. But now those workers, they know that the companies are desperate. So instead of $50,000, they're paying $65,000 plus recruiting fees. Add it all up. For every dollar they thought that they'd save, they spent $1.27. So they're losing 27 cents on every dollar. I want you guys to type $1.27 if the math is mathing right now. Type it in the chats. But here's where it gets even worse. Here's the part that should make you angry. Oxford University, researchers, they looked at this. The Fabian Stefani, Oxford Internet Institute, he said this: some companies are using AI as the scapegoat for layoffs. We've been talking about this for a long time. Scapegoat for layoffs. Yeah, the excuse was we overhired during the COVID years because that's how we thought business was going to be forever. That was an excuse, and they held on to that excuse, and that excuse has been used for 3 years now. Nobody listens at this is a terrible excuse. What you guys need to do is look into your HR and really find out if you really need that many people. I'm not saying it's the CEO's fault. I'm not saying it's a certain person's fault, but you made a bad decision. And then you're going to say, we're going to use AI to lay people off, cause your stock to go up for 3 to 4 months, and everything is good. Now you got to go back and now you got to fix things. But here's the thing. It might not be about AI at all. It might be about, the mishiring during the pandemic. Companies hired way too many people in 2020 through 2022 when money was cheap and venture capital was flowing. It might be about economic downturn. Revenue's down. Profits are down. Wall Street's mad. Got to cut costs. It might be about cost cutting. They wanted to do anyway, to hit quarterly numbers, to please shareholders, to get their bonuses. These are all the excuses that they have. And AI could be just an excuse. It's a thing that you can say that sounds smart, that sounds forward thinking, that sounds like innovation. Instead of saying we hired too many people, we overspent, we made bad decisions, now workers got to pay for our mistakes. They say AI is the future. We're optimizing, we're transforming. And you lose your job. All for others to protect themselves. That's why I told you. Better be careful. Better be careful. I want you guys to type scapegoat in the chat if you're seeing it now. That's why 5.3% are being rehired right now, because AI didn't work, because they fired people for no good reason, blamed it on technology, and now they need those workers back. But they're hoping that you don't connect the dots. Now let me show you exactly who's doing this, with names, with numbers, with proof. Okay. October 2025, 1 month ago, 153,074 job cuts announced in United States. Okay. Highest number, highest October in 22 years since 2000. 2003. 175% increase from October 2024. 183% surge from September. Worst year for layoffs since 2009, the financial crisis. And AI was cited to be the reason. 431,000, 39 of those job cuts. Second most common reason after general cost cutting. Okay. Year to date, 2025, 48,414 AI related layoffs. That's 48,000 AI related layoffs. That's what they're attributing to layoffs. Now, let me give you specific examples with CEOs with quotes with evidence. You guys already heard me talking about our man, Mark Benioff, Salesforce, right? Well, they cut customer support from 9,000 employees down to 5,000. 4,000 people are gone. Why? This is what Benioff said. I need fewer heads. That's what he said. That was what came out of his mouth. We talked about that on the show. Said AI can handle 50% of the work. So he hired 50% of people. But now Salesforce is quietly bringing back support reps because it turns out when customers are angry, AI chatbots don't work. They escalate. They demand humans. I'm going to tell you like this, going through YouTube situation right now with the back and forth that we're going through on the other channel. AI can't do the job. AI cannot do the job. They need humans, and they're going to need more humans to fix some of the issues that's being done on YouTube. So if that's just YouTube, which is a large company that has many people doing things, and Salesforce is a B2B company that has many people doing things, what do you think they're going to need? Especially when there are escalations in the B2B world. You let a customer complain about, not getting the right sort of service and things need to be escalated, and they get a chat bot if they're paying thousands of dollars a year, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to use their CRM system, and think that they're not going to get a human. They're going to demand a human, and they better have one. So all this AI stuff, it may create more jobs. We'll see. Time is going to tell. But Amazon, October 28th announcement, right? They did this on my birthday. 14,000 corporate jobs, 4% of white collar workforce. Some reports say it could even reach 30,000 positions. Why? They're investing over $110 billion in AI and data centers. That's what they said. But here's what they're not saying. Amazon already rehired for specialized roles because they cut too deep, because AI can't replace institutional knowledge. So a lot of those people that they laid off, they're bringing them back. UPS, 48,000 jobs eliminated first 9 months of the year. 34,000 operation positions, drivers, sorters, handlers, 14,000 management roles. CEO Carol Tomey said this: the most substantial strategic transformation in our company's history. Said 66% of the fourth quarter volumes coming from automated facilities now. But UPS stock's down. Customer complaints are up. Delivery times are slower. And they are quietly rehiring experienced drivers in major metros. Ain't that something? God dang. Oracle, over 3,000 jobs cut globally in August through September. Part of $1.6 billion restructuring plans. Up to 10,000 more positions could be affected. And get this timing. Oracle announced these cuts just weeks after CEO Larry Ellison announced a $30 billion AI infrastructure deal with OpenAI. They're firing workers to fund AI deals. That might not even work. Crazy, huh? But here's who's getting hurt worse. Stanford University just released the data. Entry-level workers, young people getting hit the hardest. Employment for 22 to 25-year-olds in the AI exposed jobs fell 13%. Software developers aged 22 to 25 down 20%. Young people just starting in their careers, just graduated college, can't get hired because companies say AI will do it cheaper. But AI can't, not yet, maybe not ever for some roles. So young people, they're stuck. They can't get experience because companies won't hire them, can't prove themselves because AI is in the way. So let me recap what you just learned just now that nobody else is telling you. October was the worst month for layoffs in 22 years. 95% of companies saw no financial gains from AI investments. They're losing $1.27 for every dollar that they thought they'd save. 5.3% are already rehiring the people that they fired. Oxford researchers say companies are using AI as a scapegoat for cost cuts they wanted to make anyway. The AI revolution CEOs promise might just be the AI lie. That's exactly why you watch this show, The Daily Climb, every single morning at 7 a.m. because nobody else is showing you this data. Nobody else is connecting these dots. Nobody else is telling you that the emperor maybe has no clothes. Now, that's what companies are doing wrong with AI. Okay? Let me show you what workers are doing wrong in their job searches. Let's move on to this next segment. I want you guys to stick with me on this one because there are people that are doing things that are wrong. Okay? And more importantly, I want to show you guys what actually works. A 3-part framework that's going to be coming up in this next segment. I want you guys to pay a close attention to this one. Okay? Companies are failing with AI, but they are rehiring workers that never should have been fired. Now, let me show you 3 stories: the wrong way to job search, the right way to job search, and what to do if you get laid off. This is where strategy beats luck every single time. We are on the segment 3, and I'm about to show you these real people, about 3 of them, 3 different approaches, 3 different outcomes. 1 shows you what not to do, 2 shows you what to do, 3 shows you what to do if it happens to you. Many of you guys have been laid off. This is going to be the segment for you. Okay. We talked about Elizabeth Davies last week. You guys remember Elizabeth? Elizabeth Davis. I said Davies. That's her. This is the one, the older woman, 59 years old, was debating about if she should dye her hair, if she should wear a wig. Well, this is the picture of her in a wig, just playing around, right? It's not her real. She's a cute little lady. She reminded me of my mother-in-law, right? That she's a cute little lady, okay? But Elizabeth, 59 years old, lives outside of Washington, D.C., used to work at Broadcom in an internal communications and employee engagement organization. She called it a total dream job. She was laid off October 2024, just over a year ago. Since then, Elizabeth has submitted over 500 applications. 500. I want you guys to let that sink in for a second. 500 times she filled out forms, tailored her resume, wrote cover letters, hit submit, and hoped. That's what she did. It's pretty exhausting. But here's what happens to Elizabeth every single time she applies. She gets a call back. First interview always goes great. Then they say things like, Elizabeth, you are exactly what we're looking for. Your experience is perfect for this role. We'll be in touch soon about next steps. She gets off the video call feeling good. Finally, this is it. This is the one. She updates her spreadsheet. Interview number 247. Felt great. Strong connection. They love my background. She goes out there and tells her husband, I think this is the one, Johnny. Then nothing. Crickets. Weeks goes by. She sends a follow-up email. Thank you so much for your time. Very interested in the role. Please let me know if you need anything else. No response. 2 weeks, she checks LinkedIn. Position still available. They still interviewing. She sends another email. Just wanted to circle back. Still very interested. Nothing. 3 weeks, position disappears from LinkedIn. They hired someone who wasn't her. Elizabeth, she has lived this nightmare 500 times. 500 times she put herself out there. 500 times she hoped. 500 times she got ghosted. But here's where it gets worse. Here's the part that should make you angry. A recruiter recently said to Elizabeth, have you thought about coloring your hair? Dang. God dang. Recruiters are out there brutal. Elizabeth has gray hair. She's 59. She's earned that gray hair. 25 years at Boeing, years at Broadcom, decades of experience. And a recruiter asked if she thought about coloring her hair. Elizabeth said she tried to laugh it off. She said, yes, I thought about it. But inside she was thinking, I have to change who I am to get a job. She lives in an Orthodox Jewish community. She's toyed with borrowing a friend's wig like she did in this picture right here, just to get past the first video interview, just so they don't see the gray hair and make assumptions. She normally keeps her hair super short with bright colored glasses. Thinks that's her trademark look. That's Elizabeth. You know, y'all got a trademark look. You might wear, black shirt, black button up, little glasses, whatever it is. Some people got their trademark. But now she's wondering, do I have to choose between being my authentic self and getting a job at 59 years old? Ain't that something? Elizabeth told Business Insider, published November the 6th, 4 days ago, I look at my age as a competitive advantage. I earned this gray hair as I'm getting older. I refuse to say I'm done. There's still a lot of life left and a lot that I can contribute to. And she's right. But the system is telling her she's wrong. Here's Elizabeth's problem. And it's not the gray hair. She's doing what everyone else does. Mass applications, volume strategy, 500 applications in 1 year. That's almost 2 per day, every single day, including weekends. And here's why that doesn't work. Job seekers spend 80 to 90% of their time applying for jobs. Those application results in an interview, only 3% of the time. 3%. So Elizabeth's 500 applications should have generated 15 interviews if she's lucky. And she's getting ghosted after those. Type 3% if the odds are terrible. I know the odds are terrible. The numbers don't add up. So Elizabeth is doing the wrong thing. Not because she's not smart, not because her resume is bad, not because of her gray hair. She's doing the wrong thing because she's doing what everyone else tells you to do. Apply more, send more resumes, cast a wider net. But there's a better way. There's a better way. Now let me show you. I want to show you the better way. Okay? Alan Steen, former tech executive, Facebook, Google, Salesforce, all big names. Now he's the CEO of Cadma Careers, a company that coaches job seekers to 6-figure roles. Kind of like Next Gen Heights, right? Kind of like Next Gen Heights. Business Insider, they published his advice, and they did it this morning, November the 10th, today. And what he says should change how you job search forever. This is what Alan said. If your return is 3%, then spend 3% of your time applying to jobs. God dang, that man was smart, ain't it? He said something pretty obvious that most people don't get. If the return on filling out applications is only 3%, then spend 3% on that. I want you guys to read that again. Okay? If applications only work 3% of the time, then applications should only be 3% of your effort. 3%. That's like 20 minutes out of a whole day. So what do you do with the other 23 hours and 40 minutes? I want you guys to type 97% if you want to know the answer. What do you do the other 97% of the time? Type 97 in the chat if you want to know the answer. It's pretty obvious. What are these folks doing right here? What are these folks doing right here? I see you in there, Jason. I see you in there, Big Suggs. Ricky says, I want to know. Big Suggs says, I want to know. His strategy. He calls it 5 chat rule. Have 5 conversations per week with people at companies where you want to work. Not 5 applications, 5 conversations with real humans about real work. But here's the key. This is where most people mess up. You're not asking them for a job. This is what Alan said. Go in there with an intent to learn about them. You're learning about their work, their company, their challenges, what keeps them up at night, what they're excited about. You're building a genuine connection. You're becoming a person to them, not just a resume, not just another application. You are leveraging your existing relationships and building new ones. Ain't that something? Now, Aaron Cleavager, managing partner at Murdoch Mason executive search firm, says something that's even more important. The time to start networking is when you don't need something from someone else. Meaning, if you have a job right now, you should be having 1 or 2 conversations per week just to build relationships. Not because you need something, not because you are desperate, just because you're interested in people and what they do. So when you do need something 6 months from now, those relationships already exist. You're not starting from zero. You are not asking strangers to help. Here's what Aaron says job seekers do wrong. They only reach out when they are desperate, when they are unemployed, when they need something. They have an awkward conversation, try to be casual. Then at the end, slip in and ask for a job. So if you hear about anything, let me know is what they usually say. It's transactional, it's obvious, and it doesn't work. So he's telling you, don't do that. Instead, say something like, hey, I'd love to just catch up, hear what you got working on, or hear what you got going on. See how things are going. Have a genuine conversation about the work, ask good questions, listen for clues, listen more than you talk. Then at the end, don't ask for a job, ask this, who else should I be talking to? Who do you know that's doing interesting work in this space? This is what Aaron said. If they have a positive view of you after the conversation, they're going to think of you anyway. You don't need to ask for a job. If the conversation goes well, if they like you, if they respect you, they remember you when something opens up. They'll reach out. They'll make the introduction. I want you guys to type genuine in the chat if you're understanding this strategy. But here's what makes this powerful. Here's why 5 conversation beats 500 applications. Elizabeth sent 500 resumes into the void, to applicant tracking systems, to HR departments, to black holes. 3% callback rate, 15 interviews, all ghosted. If Elizabeth had 5 conversations per week instead, for 52 weeks, that's 260 conversations with 260 real people who now know her, like her, remember her. Even only 10% of those lead somewhere. That's 26 opportunities that didn't come from applications, that came from relationships. And here's the thing, those opportunities are better. They are warmer. They're not fighting with 500 other applicants. They're not fighting with, thousands of other people who apply to jobs. Because a lot of times the jobs are not even posted yet. Or the job is posted, but you got recommended by someone that they trust. So they skip you to the front of the line. Alan Steen followed this advice most recently. He met with a high-level executive in Silicon Valley. Didn't ask for anything, just had a genuine conversation about work, about challenges, about opportunities. That executive gave him a fantastic amount of advice, including guidance on how to use tech experience to differentiate his company's offerings. And here's the bonus part. This is from Alan himself. He said it's more fruitful and you can make a friend or two sometimes. Human to human interactions are more enjoyable than submitting applications. You're building relationships, learning things, getting smarter, making friends, not just sending resumes into the void and hoping. So to recap, the right way, Spend 3% of your time applying. That's real. Keep doing it. Just don't make it your whole strategy. Spend 97% of your time networking. 5 conversations per week with people at target companies. Go in, not to ask, build a genuine relationship, build a genuine connection, let opportunities come to you. That's how you beat the 3% odds. This is what I teach you in the coaching sessions. Type network if you are going to change your strategy today, if you're looking for a job. Now, the third part, what if you already got laid off? What do you do in that moment when they call you in and tell you you are done? We talked about a couple of people who, when the Amazon layoffs happened a couple of weeks ago, my birthday, the young lady who was doing her get ready with me on TikTok, how she got laid off and was taping it. Well, what do you do if you already are done? Let me give you the insider playbook now. Okay? I'm going to give you guys the insider playbook. Pav Stojkovic, former chief people officer, worked at Athletic Sports Publication, biotech startup Oatmeat, other companies as well. He has over a decade of experience as a chief people officer. He sat across the table from hundreds of workers and then told them, "You are being let go." This man right here has fired a lot of people. Look at what the Business Insider header says. I laid off hundreds of workers. Here's what you should do if you get let go. Business Insider published his advice November the 9th, 2 days ago. This is insider knowledge from someone who's done hundreds of layoffs. I want you guys to listen close. Step 1. He says, don't sign anything immediately. They are going to hand you documents, severance agreements, release forms, waiver of claims. They're going to say, here you go, sign here and here, and initial here. Don't do it, he says. Say this exact phrase. Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm going to take these documents home, review them carefully, and get back to you. That's it. Don't explain. Don't apologize. Just take the documents and leave. That's what he wants you to do. This is from somebody who has been in the game. Step 2, understand that you have leverage, real leverage. Most people don't notice, he says, you can negotiate. Why? Because the company wants something from you. They want you to sign that document. They want you to release them from any potential risk and liability. They don't want you to sue them. They don't want to deal with the complaints. They want this to be clean. That means you have power. This is a quote from Pav. He says, you always have the ability to negotiate. I'm never going to say, you know what, because you're negotiating. Now you get nothing. That makes sense because I want you to sign that document. That's what he says. You always have the ability to negotiate. I'm never going to say, you know what, because you're negotiating now gets you nothing. That makes sense. That don't make sense. But what can you negotiate? He asked. More cash severance? Probably going to be a no, he says. But companies like to be consistent across the board. Same formula for everyone. But here's what you can ask for. COBRA coverage, health insurance. It's expensive to get on COBRA, especially if your former employee isn't contributing anything. Could be $600, $800, $1,000 a month for family coverage. Ask for this. What would be helpful is if the company could cover 50% of my COBRA for the next 3 to 6 months. Doesn't cost them much, could save you thousands, doesn't hurt to ask. That's what you could ask for. This is exactly what he's telling you should ask for. COBRA. Okay. Step 3, request your employee file every single document of it. In most cases, companies are legally obligated to let you inspect your employee file, make copies, get digital versions, make employers. What he's basically saying is most employers will just send you a PDF and call it done. Why does this matter? Asking for an employee file. Your file contains performance reviews, feedback, documentation of projects, emails, everything. Maybe you had a strong performance reviews for 3 years. Then you got laid off and a reduction in force. Your employee file proves that the layoff had nothing to do with your performance. You weren't fired because of some unknown cause. Your position was just eliminated, and that matters. Okay? Future employers want to know, why'd you leave your last job? You can show them. Here's my file. Here's 3 years of exceeding expectation reviews. Then my position was eliminated. Not me. It was the position. Or if you need to take legal action for missing wages, unpaid overtime, misclassifications, your employee file has all your pay stubs, all the evidence that you weren't paid properly. This is what he's saying. Step 4, apply for unemployment benefits. Put your ego aside. Okay. A lot of people don't apply because they think that's not for me. I'm a professional. I make good money. I have savings. Unemployment's for other people, they say, but you are wrong, dead wrong. You've been paying into unemployment insurance every single paycheck for years, maybe decades. This is your money that you're getting back when you need it. Put your ego aside. Pav says, I've received countless claims for unemployment for former employees, and I never contested a single one. Companies only contest unemployment claims for gross misconduct, stealing, sexual harassment, violence, criminal behavior. Not being great at your job, that's not gross misconduct. Even if you were performance-based laid off, where they said your performance wasn't meeting expectations, you still qualify for unemployment. Last thing, get back out there, they says. Give yourself some time first, but get back out there. This is what Pav says. Don't feel like you're alone. Reach out to your network, to people who think they can help you find your next opportunity. Take a few days, go on vacation if you can, or just don't think about work for a bit. Process what happened, but not too long. Don't let the depression set in. Don't let the shame take over. Get in the headspace of thinking about what's next. Update your LinkedIn. Reach out to your network. Start having conversations and hold your head high. Getting laid off doesn't mean you fail, especially in this market. 153,000 people got laid off in October alone. You are in massive company. This is what he says. This is what he says. So 3-part framework. Elizabeth sent 500 applications, got ghosted. That's the wrong way. Don't do it. Alan Stein says have 5 conversations per week. Build genuine connections. Network over applications. That's the right way. Pav says this. Don't sign anything immediately. Negotiate. Get your file. Apply for unemployment. Hold your head high. That's what to do if it happens. That's the framework that I want you guys to work off of. Type framework if you're understanding all 3. Now I want to tell you where to get the complete playbook for all of this. If you want the complete networking playbook, the exact scripts for 5 conversations, word for word, what to say, how to ask for introductions, how to follow up without being annoying. If you want Pav's negotiation templates, the exact language to use. If you want to see how Marcus used these exact strategies to get from laid off to VP interviews in 6 months, check out the Patreon, patreon.com/Black Heights. Okay. You get your weekly frameworks, word for word script strategy that actually works. We break it down and we break down everything. We give you the playbook. Check out the link to the Patreon, www.patreon.com/Black Heights. Now I want to move on to the next segment here. Let me show you where jobs are being created right now. While 153,000 jobs got cut last month, okay, there are jobs that's being created. This last segment, you guys got the framework, the right way, the wrong way, the wrong way, the right way. If it was to happen to you. But there's opportunities that's out there that I want you guys to know about. Okay. Stick with me for this segment. We heard about Amazon, them cutting 14,000. We heard about Salesforce firing 4,000. While tech is destroying hundreds of thousands of jobs just this year alone. We've been talking about manufacturing. It's been in the economy about how manufacturing is coming back to the United States. Manufacturing is coming back. CAL, Critical Power Hours Company based in Dublin, announced November the 5th they are opening their first U.S. manufacturing facility. James City County, Virginia, right near Williamsburg, 250 jobs immediately, day one, scaling to 500 employees by 2030. They make equipment for AI and cloud data centers, including next generation equipment of NVIDIA H200 microchips. $5.2 million investment. Okay. That's Virginia. Orbis Corporation, Wisconsin-based company, reusable packaging, grand opening November the 6th in Greenville, Texas. 420,000 square foot manufacturing space, 240,000 square foot warehouse, 190 new jobs within 3 years, making reusable plastic tote crates and pallets for logistics and supply chain companies, advanced automation with room for future expansion. Wisconsin companies coming to Texas, setting up manufacturing. Boy, we love that down here. Applied Optoelectronics, a Texas company, announced November the 7th, 210,000 square foot manufacturing facility in Sugar Land, Texas. If many of you don't know where Sugar Land is, it's right outside of Houston. $150 million investment, 500 new jobs over the next 5 years, operational by summer 2026, making optical and fiber networking products for data centers and telecommunications. How many times have we said something about data centers and telecommunications or technology and manufacturing for technology? Twice already. 2 out of the 3. In Texas. So 3 companies. They announced in the last 5 days, 3 states, 940 new manufacturing jobs coming online over the next 18 months. While tech is laying off 141,000 people, manufacturing is hiring. And these aren't just warehouse jobs. These are skilled manufacturing, operating advanced equipment, quality control, engineering support, supply chain management, good paying jobs with benefits and room to grow. Okay. Now here's something that's taking effect this Wednesday, November the 12th. 2 days from now, the federal minimum wage officially increases for the first time since 2009. From $7.25 per hour. Dang, that's low. $7.25 per hour to between $9.50 and $10.50, depending on the jurisdiction. That's a 31 to 45% increase for millions of workers. Crazy, ain't it? I didn't know that. I didn't know the minimum wage was $7.25 per hour. I wonder people are having a difficult time. They aren't getting paid very much. I don't know any jobs that's paying that, but maybe they are. Maybe those are McDonald's jobs. I don't know. You guys know anybody making $7.25 per month or per hour? Sorry, I said per month. God dang, I remember making that when I was back in 2000 and a long time ago. Dang. But minimum wage is increasing, guys. 88 jurisdictions total, 23 states, 65 cities and countries or counties, all raising the minimum wage floors by the end of this year. 70 jurisdictions reaching or exceeding $15 per hour. Florida, $14 per hour. Washington, D.C., $18 per hour, highest in the nation. Washington, D.C. paying all them folks a lot of money. No wonder they're getting ready to go out of business. Paying too much money for minimum wage. But if you lived in Washington, D.C., you're going to need it. Burin, Washington, 2116 for large employers. Highest locally mandated minimum wage in America. God, that's a lot of money, man. So this whole increase affects 9 million Americans. Average annual increase, $420 for full-time workers. Not life-changing money, but it's something. It's movement. It's acknowledgement that $7.25 in 2025 is crazy. It is pretty crazy. It's insane. I don't know anybody making that kind of money, though. Now, let me tell you about certifications that you can get right now for free or heavily discounted. Because while companies are laying people off, they're still hiring for specialized skills, and certifications prove you have those skills. Microsoft Fabric Data Days 2025 is active right now. 50 days of online learning, free certification vouchers for DP 600 and DP 700 exams, 50% off DP 900 and PL 300, free swag prizes. This program ends November the 25th. That's 15 days from today. If you want to get Microsoft certified in data engineering, machine learning, AI for free, do it now. Okay. AWS certified generative AI developer, professional level, brand new certification. Beta exam registration opens November the 8th or 18th. That's next Monday. Okay. If you take the beta exam, you get a special early adopter badge. I said adapter. But it shows you we're one of the first before everyone else knew that it existed. This is professional level, high paying, in demand. My man Jabron told me about this one in the Discord this weekend. North Carolina, Coursera access for North Carolina residents only. State library offering free Coursera courses to all North Carolina residents. Last day to join, November the 13th. Okay. I said November 13th, November the 30th, actually. Get my dates right. So right here on the screen, November the 30th, and it's free. You guys get access to Coursera courses. Check it out. If you live in North Carolina, take advantage of it. Free courses from some of the top universities in tech, data, business, AI. NC Worker, this is for you. Now here's what matters about these certifications. Okay. Daniel Zhao, chief economist at Glassdoor, says, don't learn completely new skills. All right. Look for adjacent skill sets, skills close to what you already have. If you're a software developer, don't go learn to be a nurse. That's too far from your skills. Add management skills, add project leadership, team coordination. That's adjacent to what you do. You're in business operations, don't try to become a programmer. That would take years. Learn AI prompting, how to use Copilot tools, how to communicate with AI effectively. That's adjacent. LinkedIn data shows AI literacy is the #1 skill people are adding to profiles right now. In a quote from Daniel, it's just like typing or computer literacy have become universal expectations for many jobs. AI literacy is likely to become a baseline requirement for jobs in the future. You remember how we were growing up and you may have had to take a typing course, right? Use a keyboard and, learn how to type, and you figure out all your words per minute. That was mandatory in one of the high schools that I went to. I was one of the best typers in the class. What they're saying right now is AI literacy is just like that. Mandatory. You have to learn how to do it. You think about the people who weren't, in that sort of generation. They can't type. They're not the best typers. They're finger pickers. Right? But they're saying AI. It's just like learning AI. It's just like how you had to learn how to type. And there are some generations that's going to pick it up, and there are some generations that's not. What does this mean for certifications? If you are in tech, get an AI certification, machine learning, data engineering. If you are in business, get data analytics, business intelligence, AI tools. If you are in finance, get Excel, Advanced, Power BI, financial modeling with AI. Build on what you have. Don't start from scratch. Adjacent, not opposite. I talk about this in my coaching program. Now, here's a trend that changes everything. 85% of employers now using skill-based hiring. 53% drop degree requirements completely. 94% say skill-based hiring outperforms degree-based hiring. 90% report fewer hiring mistakes when they hire for skills, not degrees. Everybody has degrees. You need skills. This is the moment where certifications matter more than degrees, where demonstrated skills get you hired, where your portfolio beats your diploma, where what you can do matters more than where you went to school. That's the moment that we're in right now, where what you can do matters more than where you went to school or how long ago you graduated. Don't matter that you went to that nice little state school. Don't matter that you went to XYZ school. No matter. It doesn't matter anymore. What can you do? That matters more than where you went to school, what degree you have. Skills have changed the game. And this is the moment that we're living in right now. And if you think just having a degree is going to set you apart, it doesn't do that anymore because everybody has degrees. So while 153,000 got laid off in October, the opportunities do exist. They exist in manufacturing. They exist in healthcare. Minimum wage, it is going up. Free certifications are out there. Skills-based hiring, 85% of employers are requiring it. And also, a lot of employers are dropping degree requirements. The game has changed. The question is, are you changing with it? Okay. If you guys want the complete roadmap, check out the Patreon, www.patreon.com/Black Heights. If you want to see exactly how Marcus used Oracle certifications to position himself for a VP interview, step-by-step playbook, check it out in the Patreon. All right. Now, let me tell you about Marcus. 3 days from his biggest interview of his life. We're going to talk about Marcus and then we're going to get out of here. All right. Marcus Thompson, Charlotte, North Carolina, 41 years old, married, 2 kids, a premium member of my coaching program. I don't want to say how much he paid me or he's going to pay me. Okay. Real person. Thursday, November the 13th, 3 days from now, final round of an VP interview in person, Bank of America. Let me tell you how Marcus got here, because this is proof that the strategy that we talk about on this show every single morning actually works. Marcus got laid off just like thousands of others. His company cut his position, blamed it on restructuring, gave him a severance, told him good luck. He could have done what Elizabeth did, send 500 applications, hoping for the best, getting ghosted. He didn't. Marcus got certifications. He came across his channel, Oracle Race Certification Program, July 1st through October the 31st, free training, free exams, up to 5 certification attempts. Marcus took every single one. Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, AI Track, Data Platform, Multi-Cloud. He got proof of his skills, not just experience on the resume. Actual certifications that showed he knows the latest technology. Okay. Then he positioned himself. He didn't apply to every job. He targeted companies. He used the Oracle certification. He understood that companies needed this. So he got the certification, and that showed that he had proof. He networked. He networked with purpose. He reached out to people. That was part of the plan. We talked about that. He reached out to people at those companies, had conversations, built relationships. He showed value. He posted about his certification on LinkedIn, about what he was learning. Marcus right now, Monday through Wednesday, doing deep research on that VP that we talked about. Continue to do deep research. Going through his final mock interviews, getting feedback from people that he trusts, refining his answers, practicing, because a virtual interview is different from an in-person interview. He's making sure that every word that comes out of his mouth counts. He's got his 60 or his 30, 60, 90-day plan rehearsed and rehashed and ready. That's his plan for the next, 3 months in the role that he would potentially get. So he's not just interviewing for a job. He is ready. He is ready to lead. He is ready to step in from day one. Wednesday, final night of prep. Make sure that he understands how to get to that office, to be there 45 minutes ahead of time. Make sure his outfit is ready, lay it out. He doesn't need to be making any sort of decisions on Thursday. Everything should already be planned out for him. Any decisions that he needs to make as outside of what he's doing is wasted energy. I made that very clear. He has his questions prepared for them. He has his resume ready, all of that. Everything is planned. Everything is ready. Thursday morning is going to be game day for him. He'll walk into that building with confidence, with preparation, with proof of his skills. He'll sit across from that VP and that hiring manager and show them exactly why he's the right person for the role. Okay? And we'll have Marcus on the show. I am highly confident that he's going to get that job. But if he isn't, if he doesn't, he's still doing the networking piece of it. He's still doing the networking piece of it. He hasn't gotten ghosted yet. Okay. Now he's 3 days away from talking to a VP. That's what happens when you choose strategy over panic, when you choose intelligence over emotions, when you do the work. Last week, we talked about researching the companies that your target companies and strategic networking and finding hidden opportunities. If you did the work, you got the results, you got the conversations, you got clarity, you got movement. If you didn't do the work, week 3 starts today, fresh start, no judgment. Let's go. Week 3 action plan, what to do. This week, polish your LinkedIn, polish the skills section, the certification section, the about section. Part of the Patreon is you get prompts that you can actually revamp that stuff. But make sure you go through it and make it sound like it's authentic, not like a robot wrote it. So write it for yourself in the words that you would use and keep it authentic. But make sure you add any certifications that you have, even if they're in progress. Add the projects, add any proof of what you can do. Post on LinkedIn this week. Even if it's just a follow-up comment to somebody else. You know, I've talked to a friend the other day, and one of the things that he told me was like, Antoine, anytime somebody looks at your resume or your LinkedIn, just reach out to them. Say, hey, how are things going in your world? So you got a lot of people who looked at their LinkedIn, and I don't do the best job of networking and stuff like that because other things are going on in life and all good things. But also at the same time, I just don't follow up a lot of the times with some of the people that looked at the LinkedIn and stuff like that, that people who I've worked with before. And I know it's check-ins because I do it as well too. I had a good buddy of mine who reached out after they saw me looking at their profile. What's going on, man? It's like, that's awesome, man. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to follow your lead, brother. But it's awesome. Okay. Here's what you also can do this week. You got the sign up for the Microsoft Fabric Days, 15 days left, free certifications worth hundreds of dollars. You can do that now. There's a lot of things that you can do. Mark your calendar, November the 18th, Monday next week, AWS Generative AI registration opens. You can, that's the new certification from AWS that they're putting out there. Check out that. Here's what I want you all to remember from today's show. Let's do a quick recap. The Senate voted 60-40 Sunday night, 10:49 p.m. 1.4 million workers are going to be getting paid after 40 days. 5.3% of laid off workers are being rehired because AI didn't work in their case. An MIT study, 95% saw no gains. Oxford says companies are using AI as a scapegoat. Elizabeth sent 500 applications, got ghosted. That's the wrong way. Alan Stain, he says 500 or 5 conversations per week. Build genuine connections. That's the right way. Pav says negotiate, get your file, apply for unemployment, even if it happens to you. Manufacturing hiring, 953 jobs this week. Minimum wage is rising. Free certifications are available for 15 more days. Marcus, 3 days from a VP interview. He got the skills. He got the proof. He positioned himself strategically. Before we go, if you're getting good value from this show and you watch it on a daily basis and you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, hit the subscribe button. It's free. We're giving you the real intelligence. We're giving you the real strategy. We're giving you real community. Also, if you're getting value from this show, hit the like button. Hit it right now. It takes 1 second. And especially if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell so you don't miss another show. We do this every single weekday, 7 a.m. Central, live. We bring you the real intelligence. And this is not a CNN. This is not a CNBC. This is not a Bloomberg. This is the Daily Climb, where you tell you everything that most of those big companies and big channels don't. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Your friend who is job searching, send them this link. They need to hear about the 5 chat strategy. They need to know AI is failing. They need to know about Marcus, your cousin who's worried about layoffs. Tag them in the comments. Maybe they need past Playbook. Maybe they need to know their rights. Or your coworker who's feeling stuck. Maybe they need part of this to be part of this community. Okay? Make a difference in somebody's life by sharing it. Tomorrow is Tuesday, November the 11th. Marcus, 2 days countdown. Week 3 continues. More frameworks, more opportunities, more truth. Remember this. The crisis is real, man. Companies are laying off 153,000 in 1 month. AI is being used as an excuse. Workers are being discarded. The opportunity is real. Manufacturing is hiring. Wages are rising. Skills are beating degrees. Strategy is beating panic. Your move matters. What you do today determines where you are 6 months from now. You all have this. It's in your control. I'm Antoine Wade, Elevate to the Known, The Wave Report, Next Gen Heights. This is the Daily Climb. I want you guys to keep climbing. Big Suggs, I appreciate you. Jason, I appreciate you. Ant Dog, I appreciate you. Ant Dog says, since adding AI to my profile, my views average 100 a week. I'm telling you. Sandra says, good look, Marcus. Good to see you, Sandra. Topaz, good to see you. Only Squares, good to see you, my man, Jabron. Only Squares says, good sir, I'm using that analogy when I'm teaching today and tomorrow. I love it. I love it. Life Cam, my man, Life of Cam is all the way in Thailand, enjoying themselves. He took off on Friday evening, and on Saturday morning, I wasn't expecting him to be on a Patreon show. This man is fully committed. It's my community manager, my brother, Life of Cam. I appreciate you. But guys, go and have a good rest of your day. Go and crush your Monday. Hopefully this makes your Monday go better. Hopefully you learned a lot so that you can execute and crush today. We will see you on tomorrow's show. Take care now. Bye-bye.